If networking feels awkward or forced, but you know it's critical for your career, this video will show you how to build real relationships without feeling fake. Today, I'll share 3 relationship building skills that helped me raise millions of dollars for my startup, build an incredible team, and build lasting customer relationships nationwide. Plus, I'll share an example of how these specific skills helped me raise our first $10,000 check. Back when I was a student at Berkeley, professors would introduce me to other students to teach them how to network. One of them told me I was the best networker they'd ever seen, which felt very strange at the time because I never thought of myself as networking. The first time a professor asked me what my secret was, I said, I think the secret is that I'm not trying to network. These 3 tactics will set you apart from 99% of people who are trying to build relationships, and oftentimes falling short. The first tactic is about mindset. It's more important to be interested than interesting. This is a line I heard from one of my advisors, and it helped me not only connect with people better, but also really decrease the social anxiety I would have felt if I was focused on sounding impressive or important. If you walk into every environment focused on being curious instead of feeling like you have to prove something, you can't lose. Because if you're curious, you're always learning. And if you're interested in the person you're talking to, they can feel it. And they'll feel interested in you as well. When you both walk away, they'll think highly of you simply because you were genuinely curious and interested in them. Tactic 2 is to ask people what they're excited about. Once you've genuinely expressed curiosity and interest, I love asking people what they're excited about. Because if we ask questions right out of the gate, like, what do you do for work? Or do you have any cool internships lined up this summer? It makes people feel like you're assessing their value. And that can lead them to feeling like they have to prove something instead of feeling like they can actually connect and talk about something that really matters to them. Now, if they're excited about their career, they'll definitely bring that up when you ask what they're excited about. But if they don't identify super strongly with what they're doing at the moment, then that question can really shut people down. So if you ask, what are you excited about? It gets people talking. People not only love to talk about the things that they're interested in, but they love to share them with someone who's genuinely curious about that thing. If you can be that person who shares that enthusiasm, you'll be someone they want to keep talking to. It can also help to memorize a short list of questions that you can pull out no matter what's happening. If you've ever played a game like We're Not Really Strangers, or you've read the 36 Questions to Fall in Love from the New York Times, these are lists of questions designed to help people find common ground, share personal stories and feelings, and build meaningful relationships. And at the very least, the New York Times one is a resource you can find for free online. Often, the most interesting person is the one asking the best questions. That's definitely the person that I'd be most interested in talking to. And I'd love to know in the comments, what's a question you would like to be asked at an event? Now, tactic 3 is where almost everyone fails. This one is to follow up. Even if 100 people in your class listen to the same inspiring speaker, I'll bet you that only one person from that class will actually follow up with them after the fact. If you're willing to not only follow up with a message, but also make it a practice to grab coffee or meet someone for lunch, or if you go out of your way to stop by their office hours or their literal office, I promise you will definitely stand out and leave a lasting impression. The first person who invested in Perimeter was someone I met through an entrepreneurship program abroad. I had no idea he would invest in me. In fact, I actually tried to convince him not to. But after seeing him present, I approached him and we struck up a conversation, and eventually we really connected over our shared love for art. A few months later, he agreed to reconnect at his office at the Disney headquarters in Burbank. We met a few more times before he eventually asked if he could invest in Perimeter. And to this day, even though we've raised over $5 million, that first $10,000 check had the biggest impact on us, because that check took us from feeling like we could start this company and we could build this platform to we are building this platform and we have started this company. It completely shifted our identity as founders, and it never would have happened if I hadn't leveraged these 3 networking skills to build that relationship in the first place. Also, I'm going to share a bonus takeaway of something to absolutely not do. This is a mistake that I have made many, many times in my founder journey. And that is, if you're really excited about the company that you're building or the product that you're working on, it's so easy to talk to somebody about it for 5 minutes without taking a breath. But instead, if you go into conversations and you have just the 1 or 2 lines about your startup figured out, ready to go, then you can share what your startup does, and if that person is actually interested, they can ask you more questions. But it's really easy to go in and try to pitch your startup to anything that moves or breathes, and I promise that is a very fast way to get people's eyes to glaze over and not to build an actual relationship. If this was helpful, or if you're interested in increasing your performance beyond networking, you might enjoy my series that breaks down Brendon Burchard's best-selling book, High Performance Habits. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.